Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and this is day 8 of the 80 Days to Your Dream Body course. Today's protein source is going to be beef short ribs, and it's going to be a legs and abs training routine. And the theme for today's video is going to be structural balance for improved athletic performance. So right now, I'm going to be teaching you how to assess your athlete's strength in their remedial lifts. Now let's get started. And while we were resting, we are going to continue on with the structural balance assessment. Once we've completed the 1 rep max testing, we have 10 minutes before we move on to the muscle fiber dominance. And in that 10 minutes, we are going to assess the remedial lifts. The first one is going to be the dumbbell external rotation elbow on knee. And this is going to test for the rotator cuff muscles and the humeral decelerators. For it, we are going to be on a flat bench. The working arm, we want to take that same side leg, place it on a bench at 90 degrees with the opposite knee moving forward. And we want our body at a 45-degree angle. With the opposite arm, we're going to reach behind us. And the elbow, we want it right in between the patella and the vastus medialis. From this position, we are retracting and depressing the scapula. We are going down for 4 seconds and then coming up for 1 without going into protraction or an anterior tilt of the scapula. Then the second exercise that we're going to test for is going to be the bent over trap 3 raise. This one is going to test for the inferior fibers of the trapezius and the glenohumeral stabilizers. We want to bench at 60 to 70 degrees. And then for this one right over here, the side that we're testing, we want the opposite leg forward, the opposite forearm on the bench, and we want to bend over 30 to 45 degrees. Then what we want to do is we are going to retract and depress the scapula, and on an angle, we are going to, with a straight arm, come straight up so that the arm clears the body by 15 degrees. So from the side, you should be able to see the client's ear. With this one, you want to make sure that they're not shrugging up. If they shrug up, that disqualifies the lift. If they have to use momentum, that disqualifies it. If they bend the arm or go forward or ahead, it should be on an oblique angle. Then the third exercise is going to be the Powell raise. For the Powell raise, we are once again going to be using a flat bench. And for this one right over here, we are going to be laying on our side with the bottom leg. We are going to go ahead and hook it right underneath just to be a little bit more stable. With the bottom arm, we're going to hug the bench. And then with this one, we want to start in the top position with the knuckles in line with the ear. We're going to go down for 4 seconds, come back up for 1, and we want to make sure that the knuckles remain in line with the ears the entire time. If it comes out of position, if we go forward, backward, or bend the elbow, it disqualifies the lift. And the power raise is going to test the rhomboids and scapular retractors. We've got one more, the bent over lateral raise, and yeah, we got enough time. Same setup position, 60 to 70 degrees, opposite leg forward, opposite forearm on the bench. We're bent over 30 to 40 degrees. And for this one, we're retracting, depressing the scapula. We want to clear the line of the body by 15 degrees, so you should be able to see the ear from the side. If there's any swinging, if the arm comes forward or backward, it disqualifies the lift. And for this one, we are going to be testing the posterior deltoid and the extensors and external rotators of the humerus. But time's up, set number 4. And while we were resting, let's talk weight selection for the remedial lift. All of these are going to be related to the biacromial bench press. So remember, biacromial bench press is 100%. So if you chose something like the incline biacromial bench press, you would take your 1 rep max on there, divide it by whatever the percentage is, which would be 91%, to get your weight. So if you did 100 pounds on the biacromial bench press, it would be on the incline biacromial bench press, it would be 100 divided by 91%. And then your estimated 1 rep max on the biacromial bench press would be between 118 and 119 pounds. That's going to be your reference point. For the dumbbell external rotation elbow on knee, you want to use 9.8% of that for your final set, the third set. For the bent over trap 3 raise, you want to use 10.6% of that for your final working set. For the Powell raise, again, 10.6%. And if you are doing the bent over lateral raise, you want to pick 7.6% of your biacromial bench press weight for your final third set. On your first set, what you would want to do is perform 3 repetitions at 50% of the final weight. Your second set, you're going to do 3 repetitions at 75%, and then your third and final set, you are going to perform 8 repetitions at 100%. So for the elbow on knee external rotation, you would want to perform 3 with 50, then 3 with 75, and then try and do 8 with 100% weight. Now, what if you're not able to get through all 8 repetitions? If you're unable to get through all 8 repetitions, then that means you have some type of structural instability in your rotator cuff muscles, scapular retractors, and shoulder stabilizers. So how exactly would we figure that out? Well, we're going to have to do a little bit of math. Our 8 repetition maximum calculator, we're going to use 0.785 as our multiplier. So if you were only able to do 1 repetition, whatever weight you selected, you would multiply that by 0.785. If you were able to do 2 repetitions, you take the weight that you lifted, you divide that by 0.95, and then you take that, multiply it by 0.785. If you were able to do 3 repetitions, then what you would do is take the weight, you would divide the weight you lifted by 0.9, and multiply that by 0.785. Everything is being multiplied at the end by 0.785. If you were able to do 4, you take the weight, you divide it by 0.875, and then multiply it by 0.785. If you were able to do 5, you would take the weight that you lifted, divide it by 0.85, multiply it by 0.785. If you were able to do 6 repetitions, you take the weight, you divide it by 0.825, and then you multiply it by 0.785. And then finally, if you were able to do 7 repetitions, you take the weight, you divide it by 0.8, and you multiply it by 0.785. But that is the testing protocol for the accessory lift. During the next rest, we're going to get into the muscle fiber dominance testing. But right now, time is up. Set number 5. Thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. Be sure to like, share, and leave a comment as it'll help the algorithm. And if you enjoyed the content, show your support by subscribing to the channel by clicking on the icon in the bottom right corner. And if you really want to show your support, then consider becoming a member by clicking on the icon in the bottom left corner. These new high-quality videos aren't cheap to edit, and the $5 membership will really help with the video editing budget. You'll also get access to a ton of exclusive perks like early access to videos and this program design lecture playlist in the top right-hand corner. And if you want to learn how to do a one-armed pull-up, then check out the playlist on the top left corner.